harmony with themselves, also live in one accord with the universe. The people of Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency seems to be in one accord with the universe since they chose to re-elect Rep. Senator Dolapo Badru to pilot their affairs for another 4 years. Welcome to Know Your Representative, the program that bridges the visible gap between representatives and their constituents. I am Maria Olashende, but first, let's know more about my guest, Rep. Senator Dolapo Badru. Honorable Senator Dolapo Badru, born on the 30th of January 1953 in Lagos Island. Honorable Badru attended Holy Trinity Primary School, Ebutero, Isaleko, Lagos Island, Igbobi College, Yaba for his secondary education. In 1991, he got his Master's in Business Administration from Kensington University, Glendale, California. In 1997, he bagged his PhD in Business Administration from same school. Honorable Akoni Dolapo Badru was a special advisor to the then Governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, on international commerce from 2003 to 2007. Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development from 2007 to 2015 during the Babatunde Raji Fashola regime. Member House of Representatives 2015 till date.
The House notes that on Sunday, March the 5th, 2020, in Adosabo of Abuwad of Lagos, was robbed by a gas explosion, resulting in a catastrophe, the magnitude of which is a national disaster. The House further notes that the unprecedented destruction orchestrated by the gas plant explosion killed over 50 people, including the principal of Bethlehem College, Reverend Sister Henrietta Aloka. Also, a family going on their way to church, Mr. Obi Yo and his wife and 2 children, Tochukwu and Kachi. Alarmed that the explosion is so horrific that the epicenter of the blast created a gory cape and sent tremor and inferno into its immediate and far surroundings, which resulted in a lot of destruction of lives and properties. Worried that about 500 buildings within a 2-kilometer radius, which has more than 5,000 people, were destroyed in the gas plant blast, and thousands of people have been rendered homeless.
He is the Chairman House Committee on Industry and the caucus leader for Lagos State House of Representatives members. He is a member of the All Progressives Congress Party, representing Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency and the House of Representatives. Honorable Senator Dolapo Badru's favorite quote is, "There's only one life to live. Do what makes you happy, and don't ever sacrifice your happiness for other things." Dolbad. Quality representation came home when in 2015, Rep. Badru became the lawmaker representing Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency. Honorable Badru, in one of his speech, said one of his major priorities is to ensure that his representation impacts meaningfully in the lives of his constituents. He further promised them a constant feedback. According to him, there is no meaningful feedback than to get them empowered in his own little way. In this report, let's see how his promise has impacted the good people of Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency. The reports. With deep roots in the historical and cultural development of Lagos State, the communities of Oluwogbowo, Onola, Agarawu, and Isaleko are now communities thriving amid a huge commercial nerve center. These communities sit on rich history and good fortune, particularly the good fortune of being represented by a compassionate man at the House of Representatives, Honorable Dolapo Badru. His humility and generosity precede him.
Dolapo Badru èèyàn dáadáa ni. Kò sígbà tẹ́ máa wọlé ẹ̀ bí ẹ fẹ́ kanlẹ̀kùn tí ò ní ráyè. Kì í ṣe àwọn kan tó kọ́ máa lọ takú sábùjá. Tẹ́lẹ̀ bá fẹ́ rí wọn, wọ́n á ní kò sí ilé. Ó pẹ́ jù láàrin oṣù kan. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ rí ẹ máa rí lẹ́ẹ̀mejì.
Láti ilẹ̀ philanthropist ni. Nígbà tó wá di mẹ́mbà náà House of Rep ó tún ṣe gudugudu. Ó dẹ̀ wà available to the whole everybody. Níwọ̀n bá àgbà tó bá ti wálé báyìí bóyá náà jẹ́ kó sùn pàápàá. Ó dẹ̀ accommodate àwọn èèyàn. Ó dẹ̀ wà cool-headed.
And even during this COVID period, he made sure that he struggled because he was caught up at Abuja. The local flight has been off. So he always telephoned at home and said, what is the position of things and all the rest of it. And then when he had one opportunity, maybe with a presidential jet coming with the speaker, then he had to join and see that, let him see what is happening to his people at home.
Since I know him, he has been so nice and so kind. Anytime you cry to Dolapo, you make sure you wipe away your tears. It may not be meant much, but you make sure he did something to make you happy.
Honorable Dolapo Badru is a man who understands the peculiar needs of his people. For a community that thrives on commerce, many traders here testify of getting empowerment tools and cash gifts that have boosted their business in a small measure.
Wàláì tálẹ̀ sọ èèyàn gidi ni wọ́n o. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn ẹlòmíì wọ́n máa ń wá sádùúgbò. Àwọn ẹlòmíì tẹ́lẹ̀ a kàn máa gbórúkọ wọn pé ẹni báyìí ló wà ládùúgbò wa o. Wọ́n lọ́fíìsì ládùúgbò wọn ní kinní o. Àwọn máa ń wálé kọ̀ọ̀kan. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún ní aṣojú ládùúgbò yìí. Tá a bá rí wọn, ẹ̀dùn ọkàn wa a máa lọ sọ fún aṣojú wọn láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ṣe fún wọn. Èèyàn gidi ni wọ́n. Títí ìwà yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ ńgbà tán tí ì ṣe gbogbo títí ìwà ìtójò bá rọ̀ gbogbo bí ìyá máa gbà ni ṣùgbọ́n sí ńgbà tán bá wà ṣe àgàgà fíríjì yìí ṣe mọ̀ pé àti jẹ àti mu àtàtà ni ẹnu ẹ̀ wò ń sìn gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń tò sí ẹ gbé kámẹ́rà yẹn wá wo pure water wá wo gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe ti rí ẹ bá wa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn o Ọlọ́run á máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ o.
Perhaps the most heartwarming contribution to the new improved quality life of this constituents is the rehabilitation of their roads. Residents describe how this has improved their local economy.
Now, lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nigerian Union of Tailor Ológbò branch, gbogbo gbà la máa non carry wa along. Kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe tó jẹ́ pé ìbàjẹ́ machine náà ni o, ìbàjẹ́ deep freezer ni o, wọ́n máa pè wá gẹ́gẹ́ báwọn náà ṣe mọ̀ pé àwa náà àfi wọ́n sílẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sẹ́ẹ̀kan. Lára àwọn machine tó yìí fún wa gbẹ̀yìn, ayé láwọn kan bí tó jẹ́ pé ọmọ tí àgbà machine yẹn fún kòró yìí ni ò tí jẹ́ ká ṣe freedom ẹ̀ so machine yẹn wà nínú níbẹ̀ tàdé mọ́lẹ̀ a dẹ̀ tún fojú sọ́nà fún nǹkan mi tán yìí tó fẹ́ ṣe fún wa.
Around February, he distributed a sewing machine. My daughter benefited from it. I can talk about it.
Tẹ́ bá dé bá ń kọ́lé tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ kó tó gidi wọ ní bẹ̀t nísìn nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe gbogbo bá ń kọ́lé yẹn tó ṣe ń ta sí gbogbo ẹ̀ ó gba àwọn ọlọ́jà tẹ́ pé wọ́n lè wọlé láti wá rajà tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n wọlé wá wọ́n tún lọ gèrè níbẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà dẹ̀ ní coast náà the same thing náà ni tẹ́ pé tójò bá dé báyìí níṣẹ́ làwọn èèyàn máa ká ẹsẹ̀ sókè bẹ̀t nísìn nígbà tí wọ́n ti ṣe gbogbo bẹ̀ gbogbo omi ń lọ gbogbo bẹ̀ free kò sí pé adágún omi ipò ń wà ní ọ̀nà ọbẹ̀ mọ́ tí gbogbo àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ ni wọ́n jàǹfààní gbogbo àdúgbò yìí.
One of Badru's significant contributions towards the development of Lagos Island Constituency 1 is in the education sector.
He started it, I think, about 5 years ago. He will give them T-shirts, higher education, biro, folder, and file. And he has standard teachers to teach those children. I think my grandchildren is one of them that benefited from him. They were using Elegbata before. When they see that it does not contain them, they came to our school here. And no, if you see the teachers he's using, no, he tried.
Mo invite ọmọ àbúrò mi kan náà jẹ́ àǹfààní kò kàn sí àràǹdì ni bá pè wá tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé free ní gbogbo kìíní yẹn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ owó la máa ná tá máa ṣe wàhálà kó tó di pé a rí nǹkan yẹn ṣe but bí dàpọ̀ àwọn fún wa ní fọ́ọ̀mù yẹn free gbogbo ẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé.
It makes them to realize that education is not just anything you can just forget anyhow like that. So that it has made them busy instead of roaming about. And it has given the parents also some assurance that when they leave home for office, their children are at somewhere learning. So it has given a very good impact. And people have enjoyed it. It has helped them seriously because even at every year, he used to buy GCE forms. And we've been monitoring some of the beneficiaries of this education. And we have seen that the coaching lesson has done a lot. It has impacted a lot in them. So that it's been very good and we have seen the results.
We really enjoy the summer coaching because it keeps us busy at all the time. Instead of staying at home, not doing nothing, it keeps us busy. We even enjoyed it. But now that COVID-19 has prevented us from going to school, we don't like the way we are staying at home. We really miss school and we miss the summer lesson. I want to say a very big thank you to him because we really appreciate the way he sponsored our lesson for free without even collecting a dime from us.
According to the constituents, Honorable Dolapo Badru is faithful to the cause of his people, so much so that he monitors their progress even after making provision for their welfare.
Wọ́n monitor nǹkan tó ń ṣe tó bá ti wá wo nǹkan báyìí tó ń fún wọn níbi báyìí báwo náà ṣe so eléyìí ti jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní tá a bá ń ta àmà ń tọ̀ ní tí yóò bá tọ̀ á dẹ̀rùn nídìí tó ti Dolapo Badru ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló gbogbo tó ṣe ló monitor pé ṣé wọ́n utilize àbí wọ́n utilize ẹ̀ adúpẹ́ fún wọn nípa ìdí èyí.
Honorable Dolapo Badru, representing Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency, inspires and redefines leadership in a climb where most have resigned to uncomfortable norm. And as the constituents applaud their man, the Dolapo Badru team, Dolbert, says this is yet a tip of the iceberg. Welcome back, and you're still watching Know Your Representative. My guest today is Honorable Dolapo Badru. He is representing Lagos Island 1 Federal Constituency. He is also the House Committee Chairman on Industry. You're welcome, sir, to Know Your Representative.
Thank you.
Let's begin this way. How did you journey into politics?
That's a very long story. I joined into politics by accident. A friend of mine wanted to run for the chairmanship of Lagos Island. And that was where it all started. So he insisted that I be a part of everything. And started the campaign, started everything and all that. Started attending meetings, and that's where I started. And eventually became the chairman, Prince Ademola Adeniji Adele. He became the chairman, and everything now is history.
Considering your quiet nature, your quiet person.
You have to
No, that was what most of your constituents said. They said you're quiet, you're gentle, that when you walk without security.
Yeah.
That if you're walking on the street of Isaleko, that you're walking alone.
Yeah.
No heirs around you. So one would wonder, why would that kind of person want to be into politics? You've been an SA to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. You were in the Raji Fashola regime. And here we are today. There must be something we don't know that you don't want to tell us.
There's nothing. You see, anybody that works about with security is not secured. They think they are, but they're not.
So does it mean you believe the saying that God is the ultimate security?
God is the ultimate security, no doubt about that. But your people are your security. If they want anything to happen to you, it will happen to you. If they don't want anything to happen to you, nothing will happen to you.
Beautiful. So let me take you now to your constituents. What's the relationship you have with them? I've spoken with them, I've seen you have a cordial relationship with them. So how did you achieve?
I'm going to be very frank with you. Those that are serious and are focused, I have a very good relationship with all of them. But there are some, they will always push it. At the end of the day, it behoves on you to just find a way to manage everybody.
So let's talk about your empowerment program. Yes. You've done the first term, now the second one, and it's counting. So can you briefly run us through the empowerment program?
On my first term, when I was campaigning, people were complaining that the honorable on the other side was doing the summer school, and there was nothing like that in my constituency. But if that's what you want, I will start it. And that was a promise made and a promise kept so far.
Beautiful. So now let's talk about the borehole. For the artisans, one of them said, in fact, we saw the sewing machines that you gave them, but they've not started using. So what prompted this?
You see, when your people know you and you know your people, I am an advocate of empowerment. You empower people with what they need. Mm-hmm. Like Ebenezer Obey said, you just have to do your best and leave the rest. You cannot do everything. Now, what is good in Anambra may not be good in Lagos. Mm-hmm. What is even good in mainland constituency may not work in Lagos Island constituency. At the time of Marwa, when I used to do Marwa empowerment, in some local governments, Marwa empowerment may not work. But you see, Lagos Island is somewhere that is so
dear to the heart of Lagos.
Yes, dear to the heart of Lagos. So you want to move from one place to the other. And Marwa is the best form of transport. So I used to empower with Marwa. But right now when it has been banned, don't get me wrong, I support the ban. I try as much as possible to see what we can do. I realize that we have a lot of tailors, or if you want to funkitize, you say fashion designers, and this is what prompted the sewing machines. And the deep freezers, you see a lot of people selling pure water, minerals, and things like that. And they find it difficult to purchase a freezer. We do even ice block.
So the roads, we're told that the roads initially were bad. But now if you go to Lagos Island 1, we have good roads. We saw it ourselves. So tell us the reason behind the roads. Although Lagos Island, when you go, you know they have this little roads, tiny roads. Agbole, you go in, you come in. But it means a lot. They are happy that you did the roads for them.
Yeah, what happened about that is that I had to use man knows man. You know, the then Minister for Works was my captain. I spent 8 years in the Executive Council of Lagos during the Fashola administration. And he's somebody I could just walk up to. Like the Yoruba elders say, Kamaba Gele Warawa. And this was a FEMA initiative. And I was able to run around for it and get it. But, you know, it's not easy when how Lagos Island is. So I must put this in perspective. a road that is not a federal road, you cannot even tell the federal government to come and do it. But we use the guides that it is off a federal road. That one is understandable. That it is a feeder road to a federal road.
So it has to be done.
So all others are not telling me, come and do it. I say, this is the local government road. It's not even a state road. So it's not possible to say, I want to come in, and bring the federal government to come and start doing a road that belongs to the local government. So, but they may not understand. I said, we did the one for, but to be able to accommodate it, I had to go the whole full hog to Anna explain that it is a feeder road to Akpobo, to the small bridge that leads to CMS and things like that. So the Broad Street is a federal road. So any road that comes off it is a feeder road that feeds that road. So that was how I was able to, well, it wasn't an easy process, but thank God it's done.
How can we differentiate between the personal projects and constituency projects? You know, there are some things you do, you say this is personal, which your people don't know. They believe everything you have to do. So can you please briefly tell us the difference between personal and constituency projects?
Well, a constituency project is not something I can execute on my own. It has to be executed through a government-nominated contractor. But there is a disadvantage we have in Lagos Island. So many things that I would have loved to do that comes in the guise of physical infrastructure, I cannot, because we don't have the land.
Everywhere is choked.
And that is a great disadvantage. That's a great disadvantage. And it still pains me to the marrow that so many things I have the opportunity to bring in the form of physical infrastructure, I can't because we don't have the land available. There was a time I was called from the Ministry of Works that a youth center, they wanted to build a youth center. Even the Honorable Minister called me personally that I wanted to build. We were looking for space. That will be taken somewhere else.
Seriously.
What other sort of love can the minister show? It had to be taken somewhere else. When I was two months, I was looking for land. I had to own up that, Honorable Minister, painfully this thing I can't get anywhere. Even one or two places that I was able to take, we could do, they are controversial. Controversial. In that there has been 2, 3, 4 issues on it. So that's one of those things that that is a sort of a disadvantage, and that still pains that there's nothing you can do about it. There are issues that I can do, there are things that I can do, there are things that I can bring to my people, but I cannot because there's no land to put it on.
Considering the committee you're chairing again,
yes,
industry, great advantage.
Yes. So my constituency project mostly comes in the form of empowerment. My Marwa was a constituency project, but now there's not even, you can't even do Marwa again. So I have to start scratching my brain to think, okay, what can I do for my people?
For this segment, not everybody from your constituency understands English, so we create this segment for you to communicate with your people in your dialect. So in Yoruba, I want you to talk to your people. Tell them what you intend doing for them in the second year in the House of Representatives.
Ní àsìkò COVID-19 yìí, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ni ó ti dá dúró, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan náà ló tún jẹ́ kí ó fawọ́ sẹ́yìn. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn mi nǹkan pọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ ṣe, mo dẹ̀ ti ń gbáradì láti ṣe wọ́n. Ṣùgbọ́n COVID ló ṣì ń fa ọwọ́ aago sẹ́yìn. Kí ọdún yìí tó parí, nǹkan ribiribi ńlá kan wà tí mo fẹ́ ṣe fáwọn èèyàn mi. Mo dẹ̀ rí pé Ọlọ́run á fún mi ṣe. Àwọn ẹlòmíì tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti ń retí, ìrètí yẹn ò ní pẹ́ púpọ̀ mọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo nǹkan tí àwa náà ń retí, COVID náà ó jẹ́ kí ó fa sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ kó má ti wà. Ṣùgbọ́n lágbára Ọlọ́run, kí ọdún yìí tó parí, nǹkan ribiribi tí a fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn wa, ojú wa náà la máa fi rí, ẹ̀mí wa náà la máa fi lò. Gbogbo ẹ̀ word by word, word by word, word by word, word by word. Àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ní àǹfààní láti jẹ́ alábàápín nínú àwọn nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe yìí, wọ́n máa pọ̀. Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ fún wa ṣe.
In the words of Aliko Dangote, in the journey to success, tenacity of purpose is supreme. And that's our package for this week. Join me again next week as I bring you another interesting edition of Know Your Representative. Follow our social media handles showing on your screen. You can also watch a repeat broadcast on our YouTube page, Mabase TV. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. I am Maria Olasheni.